Millions of Americans witnessed a total solar eclipse today, but there also was an eclipse over in Sweden. Except this was an amusement ride. Located at Grona Lund, this is a giant star flyer offering some of the best views of any amusement ride out there. This is the main reason I think it's the best ride of its kind, and I'll elaborate why in this review. Funtime debuted the Star Flyer in the mid-2000s. This was a variation on the standard chair swing. Instead of rotating close to the ground, the gondolas first lifted atop a large tower. This offered increased thrills and also better sight lines. This has gone on to be one of the most popular flat rides in the industry, and these can be found at parks across the globe. The only one currently operating in Sweden can be found at Grona Lund. Eclipse was added in 2013. It opened as the world's largest star flyer, as it stood a whopping 400 feet or 121 meters tall. The ride lost its height record shortly thereafter to a few larger versions, but Eclipse is still a colossal structure that cannot be missed. Grona Lund has an impressive skyline with a series of tall towers, but Eclipse stands the tallest, and it looks great too. The ride has a Jules Verne steampunk theme to it. The ride is a beautiful entrance sign, with a logo designed as a compass. Then the top of the ride has a large golden topper. Grona Lund is one of the most compact parks in the world, so they need to get creative whenever they add something new. Eclipse is no different. They placed this tower atop a restaurant, so when you go to ride Eclipse, you have to climb up a flight of stairs to access the load platform. The queue placement for this ride is quite odd. Most star flyers have you queue around the outside of the attraction, swings and all. For Eclipse, you queue between the central tower and the swings. This was only possible because you enter the queue line from down below. It feels like you're in a restricted area. You are basically waiting right on top of the ride, so you get some really neat views as it cycles above. Eclipse accommodates a max of 24 riders per cycle. There are 12 swings, each holding 2 guests. Star flyers tend to get decent waits. I have only visited Grona Lund in quieter days, so the ride has never been more than a 1 to 2 cycle wait for me. But I know it does tend to have one of the longest waits in the park regularly, and it can be closer to a half hour on busier days. If it does generate a lengthy wait, it is included in the park's paid Jet Pass Skip the Line system. I believe single-shot jet passes for Eclipse cost roughly 80 to 90 Swedish krona, or $8 US. You book a specific time slot, and are given near immediate boarding when you return. The biggest touring note to consider with Eclipse is that it will close extremely early on nights with concerts. That is because the ride's platform is used as a priority viewing area. So if you see a concert on the calendar, prioritize Eclipse early in the day. I like to ride Eclipse during different points of the day if possible, taking different views. If the park is open late, I especially love riding it during sunset. The views overlooking the city at golden hour are particularly breathtaking. Star flyers depend heavily on psychological fear, and it's hard not to be intimidated by the gondolas here. They are supported by these tiny metal chains. They have a large safety factor obviously, but it is still an unnerving visual. Then the restraints also leave you pretty open. They're similar to most smaller swing rides. You have a thin metal bar well above your lap, and then there are 2 seatbelts, one between your legs and one holding your torso. The full cycle takes roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes, which is a nice length for a ride of this scale. It begins by slowly rising. You spin at a slow rate initially, but once you're halfway up, it starts spinning noticeably faster. Some star flyers spin fast enough to induce positive Gs. Not this one. This one has a lower top speed than others, but that's deliberate. That makes it easier to soak up the views, and those views are spectacular. It's incredible seeing all of Grona Lund's rides beneath you. I still cannot believe they crammed in as many attractions as they did throughout the years. This park is so lively, and there is so much kinetic energy, especially when viewed from above. Adjacent to the park is a beautiful waterway. Then in the distance, you have all the historic buildings of Stockholm. This really is one of the prettiest cities in the world, and seeing it from atop of Eclipse is a unique perspective. There are some thrills as well though. Since you're just supported by chains, the gondolas are highly susceptible to wind. The gondolas will twirl in the wind, and it's even possible to spin backwards if you hit a gust at just the right angle. It is really freaky getting this type of movement with those chains. So what would I rate Eclipse? I would give this Star Flyer a 9.5 out of 10. This is a fantastic flat ride. The views of Stockholm and the park are breathtaking. This is my personal favorite Star Flyer simply because of the location and views. Then the sheer height and gondola motion adds just enough thrills. I do wish it ran just a bit faster for at least part of the cycle, but the experience is still pretty memorable as is. So those are my thoughts on Eclipse at Grona Lund. What do you think about this Star Flyer? Have you been on it? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.